So let me start by sharing my screen and let's get started. So right now you should be seeing a small presentation. So I'll quickly go over us as a company. So DentCheck, I think a lot of you already are familiar with what we offer, but basically you guys already know how to measure dents manually. It's something that can take time and results can vary from one user to the other. So we try to find a solution that would help in that sense. So we worked on this 3D scanner. It's a portable device that you can just go ahead and put on the aircraft, click one button, in a couple of seconds, it takes the required images and reprojects back the measurements directly on the surface, allowing you to take decisions as soon as a couple of seconds. So for today, we're actually gonna see here. So this is kind of the biosystem, let's say the environment of 8tree. So we have our scanner. This is where we're gonna take our scans and get the results. Once we have our scans, we then can send them out to either our cloud. So this is what we call here 8cloud, and this is on a website that is you can see it from any tablet or computer and generate reports, or you can send it via USB stick to a computer. So we have an application directly on the computer where you can also generate reports. So for today, we're gonna focus mainly on the cloud part. So we're gonna see how that works, and we're not gonna spend too much time on the scanner part, although I will start with a brief like live demo here of how it looks like when we take a scan. But if you have more questions about scanning in particular, we've already covered that during our last webinar, which the link will be available at some point during the presentation where you can go and watch it after on YouTube. So yeah, today we focus on the cloud. So to start, I will show you here. You should now see my camera here. You can see my hand. I'm waving at you. This is a live view here from the office. So right next to me, we have our scanner. And on the left-hand side here, you will see there's this screen. So actually, this is just mimics what is projected on the back projection of the scanner. So to take a scan, it's as easy as holding the scanner, putting it in front of your surface, and clicking the button down here. And once I click, it's a couple of seconds where we take an image, we process everything, and we reproject back the results. So as we see here, we have 3 results on my sample panel here. We have 2 dents and 2 bumps. Now, the colors here show me that the dents are in blue, so anything that's deeper than the reference surface is in blue, and anything that's higher than the reference surface is in red. So it's as simple as that. Just point the scanner on the surface, click the button, and in a couple of seconds you have all the measurements you need directly in front of you. So once that's done, I've here already let it save it automatically. I'm in an autosave mode. So as soon as I take the scan, it saved it and it uploaded it to the cloud. So here, I'll go back here. Now, for the rest of the session, I invite you to join this website. You can use these login, so demo, and then you will actually be able to follow along while I'm showing you the cloud and we're making the reports together. So take a couple of seconds here to let everybody try and log in. You can do that on a tablet or on a computer or any other device. So it works on touch-enabled devices as well. And then once you've managed to log in, you should see something like that. And again, here we have another live camera. So there's my hand. And on the left-hand side, I have again a mimic of what is happening on the screen for you to be able to see a bit better. And right away, if you logged in and you are at this page, you'll see that here it says that there is already one project on this on the cloud. So if I click here, I can go in and I'll see my projects. So right now we have one project, which is what we just did. If I go inside the project, I have all my scans. At the moment, we only have the one scan we just took. And here with the scan, you can see it has an ID. It tells me when it was scanned, the date, and by who. And on the left here, we can click on this edit button, and then we can start having a look at the scanner, at the scan itself. So once I click in, I can see this view, which mimics what we've seen on the back projection of the scanner a minute ago. So here I can move around these labels. I can also see all the different results that we have. So for this purposes, I'm gonna assume that I'm working on a Boeing aircraft. So I would like to change some of the things I can see on the screen. So right now we have, for a dent, it tells me the depth. It's noted by D. It's here, for example, it's minus 0.65. I have the width noted by W and the length noted by L. Now, if I'm working on a Boeing, I might want a different type of naming convention. So here on the top, I have a symbol of a aircraft. If I click on it, it gives me a list of all the different naming conventions that I want to use. So for this, let's say that it's a Boeing 777. So if I click on it, automatically it changes now the naming from instead of D, it becomes Y, and then the others are the same. The next thing I will do, since it's a Boeing, I'll probably want the measurements in inches instead of in millimeters. So again, on the top here, I have, it says millimeters to inches. One click of the button, and again, the results will change to reflect the measurements and the units I want. Now, next thing I can do, I want maybe the measurement to measure the distances between my two dents. So it's as simple as clicking one time in the middle of the screen, and then I have a menu that appears and it gives me a few options. So right now we're going to focus on the third option here, which is distances. If I click on distances, I have the menu continues and I can do a few things. Here we'll just go with distance line, and I can then just put my finger and drag until the other dent, and it will automatically snap into place to measure the edges of the two dents. And then if I wanted to do another one, for example, between the two bumps, I could do the same thing. Click once in the middle, click on distance, and then distance line, and same thing, drag the distance line. And maybe I'm not interested in measuring between the two edges, but rather between the two deepest point of my defects. So I can click on my distance line, and here I see the menu has grown. I have more options. I can say, okay, I want it to snap not at the edges of the two dents, but rather at the maximum point, and automatically it will go and look for that. Next thing I can do is, right now we see that we have this color map on the behind our dents. I can go here and say, okay, I do not want the color map. I just want to see the dents, and I want to see what actually is happening behind, so I can see what's on the surface. So any markings will be visible as well. And this will allow me to see here my rivet lines. So I have one, and the other one is a little bit cut, but I can see it as well. So next thing we can do is we can add a reference line. So a reference line will allow us to measure all the distances to the defects to this line. So again, one click in the middle, and I can see here my option of reference. I'll click on reference, and then I can just, same thing, drag and draw this reference line. So here I'll try to position it close to the rivet line I have here, and I get all my measurements to show. I'll do one more to get the measurements to the top line. So again, click somewhere empty in the surface, click on reference, and draw my reference line. And here I have all the measurements I need for this situation. So one thing else I will do is here I will give these references some reference lines some names that are a bit more significant than just ref line 1. So I can just click on the tag here and I get an expanded menu. I can just click edit text, and here I have my drop down menu. I can say, okay, this is stringer 11 left, for example, or I can even just type here the information I want. Once I click confirm, we see the name has changed. I'll do a similar thing here. So I click on this line, edit text. Let's say frame 17 and right now. Once I'm done, it will look something like that. Now I see that I have a little bit too much lines here that's crowding my view. So another thing I will do, I will just hide some of these measurements. So I'll come here and say, okay, measurement line, hide, and then it's a bit cleaner. So I'm happy with my result so far. So the last step to do here is to generate my report. So I'll choose as the first step right now, we're going to see how a single damage report would look like. So that means I want to report only one damage from the surface. And I'll choose here this damage number 4. I'll just click on the damage itself. And I see I get my menu with some options. And the third option here, it says create report. One click of this, and then it will ask me if I want to choose which report template I want to choose. Right now, we only have one report template, so we can just say confirm. So I'll confirm. I will give it a couple of seconds. And then once it's done, we will see this view. And here I can just open report. And then once I open report, I will get a PDF file that looks like that. So in this PDF file, we can see that we have the name of our project that we started with. We have the name of the users that took the scan and that reported. We have the dates, and we have the number of the tool that was used. And if we had any other information that was interesting, for example, a work order number or a carrier or anything like that, we could have included these information in the beginning on the scanner, or even while we were preparing the report, and they will reflect here. So these are manually inputted data that will be automatically added. But the section that's more interesting for us is here. So here we have all our information about the dent presented. So we have the max depth, and it's presented in inches, the width, and the length, and the critical ratio. And finally, we have the distances to our reference lines that we have put. And now if I scroll a little bit, I can see I have here one picture showing what we prepared. So I can see I have my dent that is in the report highlighted here with its annotation. The other ones are a bit hidden, and also the measurement to the reference line and to the other defects. And if I keep scrolling, I get the last image, which would be the actual photo that was taken at the moment of capturing. And so that is a typical single damage report. So once I'm done, I can either download it and share it, or here I'll just go back to our initial scan. So this is how we do a single damage report. So the next thing I'll show you is we'll take another scan together, and we'll see how it looks like if I have a surface with a little bit more damages. So I'll switch back here to my other camera, and we're back to our scanner. And in this case, I will create a new project. So I can switch here so you can see what I'm doing. So if I go here, I will say, okay, I want to create a new project. I'll give it a name. So let's call it here demo 2. And I wanted to measure dents and bumps, and I'll create my project. And here I have prepared a piece of cardboard where I added a lot of dents. So let's try and scan it and see what it gives us. One click of the button, a couple of seconds, and the results are being projected back on the surface. So here I tried to mimic a bit of a hail damage situation. And already it's saving it locally on the machine, and it's already finished uploading. I can see it that it's finished uploading. So if you refresh on the cloud, you should already see this new project appear. So let's do one more switch back to our iPad, and we are still here. We see the view of our old scan. I'll go out, and then I can go here to the top menu, and I see I have my projects. I can click here, and I already have my second project that we just created, demo 2. I'll go inside and we'll do the same thing. So to edit this project, I can just go and click on the edit button. And here we have a few more defects. So in this situation, since I have a lot of defects, I am not very interested in having every box show all the details, because then it's a bit too crowded. So I can go here on this last icon. If I click on it, it then gives me the option of what to showcase in these boxes. So either the default, full information, or ID only. For our purpose here, we're going to go ID only. And in this case, it shows only the IDs. And again, for this situation, I'll assume that we're working on an Airbus aircraft, so we'll keep it with millimeter, and we'll keep it with the default settings for that. But the next thing I might want to do is I might want to kind of reference how the scan is positioned. So on the top here, there is a grid symbol. If I click on it, I have an option of coordinate symbol. If I click on that, I have my coordinate system appear, and I can drag this wherever I want, and I can click on it and change the names of the axis, and I can also flip it around. The next thing I will do, I want to measure the distances between all my dents. Now I have a lot of dents. I don't want to have to do it manually one by one. So I can just click in the middle and say, again, distances, since we're measuring distances. And here I will say, okay, I want you to connect everything, but only the nearest edge. So we don't have too many measurements on the surface. So I click on connect. And here I have the option, do I want to measure edge to edge or maximum to maximum? I'll go ahead with edge to edge. And I get all the distances between the dents. So I like it so far. It looks pretty good. So my next step is I want to generate my full report of all the dents on the surface. So on the right hand side here, I have this bar, which I can click on it, and it will give me the list of all the defects that are on the screen. And I can generate a multi-dent report. So I click here, and I have two options. I can generate an Excel version or a PDF version. Let's stick with the PDF version for now. I just select that and click next. Again, I will leave it for a couple of seconds while it prepares the report. And once it's done, it will tell me that I can open the report. So let's click open here, and I get my final report here with all my dents listed. They are ID'd, and it tells me how deep everything is, the width and the length, and the ratio as well. And accompanying it, we have the first image where we can then see the labels and know, okay, dent number 1 is this one, dent number 2 is that one. And finally, we have the same thing with the original photo. And then once I'm done with all that, I can just finish and go back to my scan. And so this is the two easy ways of generating reports, our single damage report and our multi-damage report. I'll now go back to my presentation. And so what else can we measure using our dent check? So dent check can be used on a multitude of different surfaces. So since it's use light, we do not need to prepare the surfaces in advance. And we can also work on curved surfaces. So for example, here we have the turbine inlet, and go to the next slide. Actually, I'll go here. We can see that on the very curved surfaces, we can still use the dent check, and it will be able to give results. The other question will probably come up often is what happens if I want to scan a larger area than just what we saw today. And this is where we have our large area mapping, where we can take a whole lot of scans and stitch them together. So this is very useful when in cases where we have hail damage, and I've been part of a few scanning service jobs where we measured the full the whole wings of the aircraft, and we are able to achieve that in very little time. And next thing is we can also scan on different surfaces. So for example, acoustic panels as well. It will be able to measure dents in the same fashion. So just one click and you get the results reprojected right away. So that's it for today's quick webinar on how to use the cloud.